In New Orleans or wherever you may be. It's 4 o'clock Wednesday, so this is the Baldy and The Blonde show. I'm Tom Coates with Michelle Godian.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Michelle, I don't feel like doing a show. You know why?
Because you have that sweater on.
No, not because I have the sweater on. I have an awesome sweater on, by the way.
I mean...
I am still recovering from that food coma. I've been in a food coma since 12:37. That's when I took my last bite at Mandina's. Mm-hmm. And I just want to go lie on a couch.
Night-night?
I just wanted to go lay on a couch.
Yeah. I'm sure our guests will be thrilled to hear that.
Well, you guys just... I'm on automatic pilot.
Okay.
You do the show. I'll play the sound clips in between naps.
So today what we're going to talk about, one of our favorite topics, of course, on the Baldy and the Blonde Vigilant Freedom Show is censorship, free speech, and the encroachment thereto. So today we're going to talk specifically about, I think, the alarming rise of censorship in Great Britain and the United Kingdom, including jailing people for Facebook posts, for viewing posts, for making posts. Literally, you go to jail for some posts.
Yeah, for TikTok videos, live streaming things. Yep.
And we're going to go through some real examples and play some clips today because everybody, we don't like y'all to think, hey, don't believe us, go check it out, because we come with the receipts, we come with the evidence, and we're going to play some. We're going to start off, though, with a lawyer in New Orleans named Claire Trinchard, who I went to law school with and I'm very good friends with. She grew up in England when it was still a free country. And I want to speak with her about... She's on? She's on. Okay. We're going to talk with Claire about what it used to be like compared to now, because she still has family there. And Claire, watch what you say, because we don't want any bad things to happen to them. So, hi, Claire.
Well, good afternoon, Baldy and the Blonde.
Hey, Claire.
So,
well, just before we start, I really am just a little bit curious as to who is who between you.
Well, if you haven't seen me lately...
I'm brushing my long blonde hair right now as we speak.
And I'm hoping to have a few sprouts grow.
Well, I think it's a very interesting topic. I would like to approach it from a different way.
Okay.
And look back through a little bit of history.
Let's do it.
Excuse me. Because to me the issue is whether England is on the brink of a cultural revolution which would change, centuries of old tradition, culture, tenets of religion, philosophy that England was founded upon and developed from there. And in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, much of the current turmoil is due to the 60 years of legal and illegal immigration policy that has simply failed to assimilate immigrants into the fabric of English society. And in fact, it has really served to create a conflicting set of beliefs and ideology. Many of the immigrants were and are segregationists, creating their own communities. And to be fair, I don't believe back in the day those in government really foresaw this happening. I really think they believed that these people, these immigrants that came for a better life, would openly embrace their new life and opportunities life in England afforded. However, as it would seem, the reverse has actually happened. And I also think that this trend has been readily apparent for a long time and has been openly encouraged. So why do I say this? So let me give you a little bit of background about where I grew up.
Okay.
I grew up in a borough of Greater London, and I lived there from the mid-50s to the mid-70s. My family, as you said earlier, still lives in England. During that time, though, there was a massive influx, mainly of Pakistanis in my area, and other Muslim groups, but they all settled in specific areas, and they continued to perpetuate their own culture and beliefs. And these people have a real stronghold on subsequent generations. And those generations have adopted that. You would think that with education mixing with English people, Europeans, that possibly you would become more of a melting pot. But that does not seem to have been the case. And I think what they're facing now, well, what you see now over the last 50, 60 years, are that the towns and cities are governmentally controlled by Muslims. I mean, you look at many places, you have Muslim mayors, council members are Muslim, and the members of parliament now are Muslim. Many of these people have received subsidies, free housing, education at the expense of the British taxpayer, who has not been afforded the same benefits. So there's obvious tension, but more importantly, a fear by the Brits of just losing their heritage. I mean, just recently, the Home Secretary, and I think it was back in October of this year, announced a fully funded university scholarships and free housing to Palestinians from Gaza. Again, these benefits aren't afforded to the English. And let's not just forget, and I don't know if you know this, but it's funny but not funny, but in 2007, the prison system had to change all of their toilets for inmates, for Muslim inmates. They had to change the toilets and put them in a new direction to accommodate Muslim inmates who can't use them while facing Mecca.
Oh, come on.
I am serious.
Oh, my God.
And then recently in Canterbury, I think like 20,000 was spent on special toilets. I know it sounds minutiae, but it's not. It shows the degree of accommodation going on. Anyway, in Canterbury, they spent this money on special toilets for foreign nationals and footballs for Muslims. So, but what you have to ask yourself is this type of accommodation encouraging assimilation into English culture, or is it in fact, which I think is the case, furthering segregation?
Well, and go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, so let me just finish up here. So, what is the outcome going to be? And honestly, I really don't know, because unlike America, in England there does not appear to be any semblance of a melting pot. We've all heard that phrase, when in Rome, do what the Romans do.
Right.
So Denmark, apparently, they're saying, well, in Denmark, do what the Danes are doing. And they are saying you can't wear burqas, and you've got to accept the customs of their country. You have to adjust to their culture and rules if you want to live there. I'm not quite sure how they're implementing this, and I'm not sure that Britain can do that, given just the degree of immersion into the acceptance and of the Muslim society that are really controlling a lot of governments. But if you also think about it, when you or any European or American visits Muslim countries, we all abide by their rules. We don't wear shorts. You cover your heads. You can't wear bathing suits. And worst of all, you can't drink alcohol. So,
well, from New Orleans, we can't handle that part at all. So
that's why we don't go.
I got to give up not drinking. I'm just going to throw it out there.
So I think it's a really difficult situation, and I don't know who's going to win out, but it definitely goes back to a misunderstanding of how immigration should work. I mean, you have people that came from Cuba to America that just openly love America and for all the opportunities that have been afforded to them. But unfortunately, in England, the immigrants that came in, both legally and illegally, that's never their mindset. And it's been allowed to develop, and now a lot of these people are in a position to perpetuate it. I mean, you have Sharia law courts.
I was going to ask you about that. I don't even understand.
We're down to our last 1 minute.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
We're down to a minute. But I don't even understand how that can happen. And I know they're pushing for that in Dearborn, Michigan, which is probably the closest thing we have in America right now to the situation all over England. But I don't know how you can have one set of laws for everybody. But wow, over here we've got a little Sharia court, and the stated goal of Muslims, without a doubt, is we want to impose our will on you. And it's happened all over England. And what we're going to do in the next segment is go through the crackdown on free speech of the Brits, who are openly defiant of what's going on. Claire, I don't know if you could say what you've just said, even though it was very rational, very measured, but I don't know if you could get away with that in England right now. This is Baldy and The Blonde. I'm Michelle Godin here with Tom Coates. We are exploring what has happened to England as a result of the 50 or 60 years of immigration, legal and illegal, from groups that have not assimilated, something we're starting to see more and more of in the United States, and maybe it's a precursor of where we're headed. Our guest at the moment is Claire Trenchard, a local attorney who grew up in England before she moved here. And Claire, you said you have another point you'd like to make.
I do. I hope I gave you information which really leads into your general topic today, which is suppression of speech. And what appears that is being done to justify these arrests and prosecution of English people that just espouse their values, their culture, their heritage, their religious beliefs, is to label it as a hate crime and racist.
Exactly.
It's a problem. It really is a problem. It scares people from speaking up, living their life, and having an open and honest debate. And
that's the point, I think.
I don't know.
I think that is the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you both for having me on.
Thank you.
It's a real pleasure.
Thank you, Claire.
All right, thank you, Claire.
All right, bye-bye. All right, that was Claire Trenchard, local lawyer, grew up in England, giving the inside scoop on what is happening overseas in our, the land of many of our forefathers, the birthplace of a lot of our freedoms, the Magna Carta, and it's really sad to see what's happening. More importantly, though, it's really scary, and I believe that we have covered on this show extensively the attempts to also regulate speech in America, which was really at full force and is the main reason that so many people who care about liberty voted for Donald Trump. Not that he's a libertarian, but that the liberty side was on that side.
Yeah, and it looks bad here. It's way worse in the UK, and we'll play some clips you'll hear.
All right,
for
here we go.
yourself.
Let's go.
Okay, which one you want?
I would like to start with Mr. Stephen.
Number 5.
Yes,
Number
Mr.
5.
Stephen Parkinson. I think it's 6, Tom.
No,
Hold
it's
on.
5.
Okay. And he, let me just say who he is. He is the Director of Public Prosecutions of England and Wales. In other words, the country's chief prosecutor, maybe sort of like Bondi in the U.S., right? And just listen to this guy. He's all in on taking you down for your speech.
Yeah, this is an interview he gave August 7th of 2024.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media.
Did you hear that?
Scouring.
We have dedicated police officers scouring social media. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
Jeez.
Okay, now that's the only clip I could find from that interview, but I found
An article
that had some more quotes. I'm just going to read a quick one here. He says, "We have around 30 liaison prosecutors based around the globe. The police also have officers stationed around the globe. Obviously, we can extradite people. It may take longer to get them back, but there's no issue around if we can get them back than prosecuting them." So he didn't say we're coming after Americans specifically.
Well,
it's not like we're immune.
I promise you I would not go there. Would you?
No,
No, we're at risk because They are interested in regulating the speech of everyone on the globe. So far, Americans are free because Elon Musk has stood up to incredible financial international pressure on him from the EU and South America to capitulate and not allow free speech. And the U.S. was right along with that. The Biden, absolutely cool with it. And you saw what they did to us during COVID. You couldn't object to medical treatments. You couldn't object to vaccines. You couldn't talk about the election.
You will be canceled off of all social media. People were canceled off.
And listen, I mean, we're still teetering on the edge of tyranny.
I want to play a clip that's off topic.
Go.
But it's related to this guy, Stephen Parkinson. So you just heard him talk about they have a team.
Scouring the internet.
Okay, now here's an interview he gave 3 months or 4 months after he gave that one. It's about these delays in these sexual crime and rape cases, how there's a backlog, and it's unacceptable. Let's hear what he has to say about that.
For victims of crime, the process of waiting for a trial can be as traumatizing as the incident itself. It's a wait that is now so long that for the country's chief prosecutor, it's indefensible.
It's totally unacceptable. It's really not good enough. I think it's a huge problem. It affects the willingness of victims to support our cases. But I'm afraid too often defendants are taking advantage of the delays because they're hoping that something will come up, and in particular that victims will withdraw.
And a large proportion do. As charities and barristers have warned, a fifth of active adult rape cases were dropped between March and May this year because the survivor decided to withdraw.
So the delays are so bad that a fifth of cases, they are dropped because the victim doesn't want to keep going because of the long delays. And the long delays are largely because these clowns are going after people for mean tweets and memes.
That's right. And also, I don't believe him because a lot of the rape cases are as a result of the Muslim population of men raping the English women and Swedish women all over but anyway. So if they didn't have 12,000 a year leading the world in arrests and prosecutions and investigations of people for speech, they might have time to work on the rape cases. Maybe. You think?
Yeah, might free up a little bit of time.
Might free up a little time. So, and you know, some of the things, I have some specific quotes, and we'll get into some more people that have been arrested, including, we've talked about this in the past, a famous comedian in Britain named Graham Linehan. He's actually Irish. Was met at the airport for some tweets that he posted while in Arizona. 4 months later, he shows up at Heathrow Airport, and 6 armed guards meet him at the airport.
Armed cops.
And they don't have guns. Cops in England don't have guns.
Often they don't.
Yes,
Right.
quite often. So, and he said, he's talking about transsexuals, and he said, men aren't women, though. That was one of the things that got him arrested. Another one is, if a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the... So
he's making a joke.
Yes,
punching an ostensible woman in the in the
because you know a sensible woman would not have those things.
Right. He's a comedian. He made a joke, and maybe some people think it's funny, maybe it's not. But he was clowning.
But that's what got him arrested.
But it got him arrested.
And you know he's had to spend
for something he
money.
tweeted or posted
Months.
from Arizona.
Arizona.
And
yes.
he's not a British citizen.
Nope, he's an Irish guy.
So if you
think about that, Americans.
You post that from New Orleans and go to Heathrow, what's going to happen to you?
You think I would ever
stuff that you've already said and posted would probably get you in trouble.
I will never go there now. I'm so sorry to say because I've been all over Europe, but I haven't been there.
Yeah, they're here to see you, Michelle.
Hello.
They did say.
Hello, love.
They said they will extradite. We've got that in other clips
We're
later.
getting there. More on the British land of loss of liberty after the break.
Welcome back to the Baldy and the Blonde Show. I'm Tom Coates here with Michelle Godin. We're here every Wednesday at 4. You can catch all of our old shows commercial free at the website baldyandtheblonde.com. Now, Michelle, when we left off, we were talking about an Irish comedian.
Yes.
Not a British comedian, Irish comedian, who made some posts from Arizona.
Yes.
And then 4 months after he made those posts, he showed up at Heathrow, just outside of London, the airport, and was arrested by 6 armed cops.
Yep.
For a so-called crime of tweeting things.
Made some jokes about
Just some jokes, yeah.
Trans stuff. It's nonsense. I mean, just nothing burgers, and
got arrested for his efforts
by armed guards. They met him at the airport and escorted him through the airport like he was a terrorist. I mean,
well, in their minds, he was.
Yes, and meanwhile, as we've already shown, they don't have the wherewithal to prosecute the rape cases because they just don't have enough help.
That's right.
Well, that's because literally, I'm gonna say it again, Britain leads the world in policing speech with 12,000 police investigations every year of speech. I saw one this week. You can just go, put it in YouTube. You'll see a ton of things, like a little kid. The cops, these 2 women cops, one with a hijab thing on her head, at the door saying, "I need your kid's phone," because she viewed a post. Okay, I mean, wow. And they took the kid's phone. And the mother was not cooperative, but she was like either going to go to jail or help. So anyway, following up on our illustrations of the ongoing tyranny in the UK, I think we have a few more clips.
Yeah, actually, I got a couple that refer to the comedian that we were just talking
Mr.
about.
Linehan or Linehan.
I think they say Linehan there. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Comedian and co-creator of sitcom Father Ted, Graham Linehan, was arrested at Heathrow Airport. What was his crime? It was posting on social media. So when he got off the plane, he was met by 5 armed police officers who told him he was being arrested over 3 posts on X where he criticised trans activists. He's now been banned from X. So this is not an isolated incident in the UK.
That's troubling, banned on X. But then again, X doesn't want that kind of trouble, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
Right? I doubt they banned him for what he posted. I think they banned him for possible repercussions. I'm guessing. I haven't read why, but
I don't know.
It's not like X to ban somebody for
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. We've had.
Oh, by the way, this is an interview on Sky News. The guy you're about to hear, I've never heard of him before. His name is James Billot. He's an editor of the website called unheard.com.
Incidents where people have gone to jail over memes being shared on a private WhatsApp group. We've had police investigations into the same subject.
You heard that?
Yes.
On private WhatsApp groups.
Private.
So they're able to get into those, and people are arrested for what they say in WhatsApp?
And Linehan himself, this is not the first time he's had a police investigation or a police visit. This is a man who has lost his livelihood, his wife, and a lot of his friends from standing up for this cause.
Just about everybody I know, and we've had a recent conversation about this, has lost friends who dump them solely for the crime of just not being far left.
Well, I was told today I'm not decent.
You're persona non grata. Oh, yeah, well, that's right. You're not a decent human anymore.
It's not a matter of politics, it's a matter of decency. And my position, therefore, I guess, is indecent. And what I'd like to say, as I always say, is that this is all about freedom. And anybody that does not recognize the assault and the encroachment on your liberties in the name of, I don't know, political correctness, love one. I mean, just crazy stuff as they take your rights away. I don't know. I guess you're living in a MSNBC world. I don't know.
All right, the next one, this is a really important one. This clip contains some very important information. This is Nigel Farage. He's a conservative member of the British Parliament. And this was from early September of this year. He was at speaking to the House Judiciary Committee at a hearing titled "Europe's Threat to American Speech and Innovation." So it's a threat to American speech.
I like that the Congress, who does nothing right, actually took time to recognize that what's happening in England is a threat to us.
Is a threat to us. So,
and Nigel Farage is a hugely important politician who led the Brexit movement.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
And we, of course, have the extraordinary events that we understood yesterday of Graham Linehan, the comedic writer, and he put out some tweets months ago when he was in Arizona, and months later he arrives at Heathrow Airport to be met by 5 armed police. Armed police, not a big deal in the USA, a very big deal in the United Kingdom. 5 of them. and he was arrested and taken away for questioning. He's not even a British citizen. He's an Irish citizen. This could happen to any American man or woman that goes to Heathrow that has said things online that the British government and British police don't like.
Let that sink in. There's a little bit more now. We'll play it.
I mean,
this could happen to any American who says anything online, or here we are broadcasting it.
Yes.
Right? And any one of our posts would probably be enough to get us arrested. And even if not convicted down the road, it's enough to sure turn your life upside down for
I'm
a
sure
while.
as hell not going
All right,
there.
here we go.
At what point did we become North Korea? Well, I think the Irish comedy writer found that out 2 days ago at Heathrow Airport.
Exactly.
He's straight up saying we are now North Korea.
Talking about the UK. Yeah.
Yes.
North Korea. And listen, that's where we were headed. That is where we were headed. And if you don't believe it, go read the case. What's the name of the damn case? I talk about it all the time. Just flew out of my head.
I don't know.
Judge Doty wrote it out of the Western District of Louisiana, went all the Supreme Court. It's now Murphy versus Missouri, but it was Missouri versus Obama, but it was really led by Louisiana. Talking about the censorship of American citizens, doctors, politicians, eminent people, and regular people who are not allowed to speak and were censored at the behest of the Biden administration. That, ladies and gentlemen, is tyranny.
Oh, yes. And it's not only headed our way, we have a history of it, as we mentioned.
Yes.
It's already been here.
Yes.
The election of Trump, doesn't get everything right, but he got that one right.
Well, that's why I voted for him.
You're right.
I mean, period.
And
That's.
and I think that's true in a lot of cases, because I've talked to a lot of people that.
Well, and Bobby
really,
Kennedy,
they
that
don't,
too.
They don't like a lot of the things that this administration is doing, but and I'm one of these, very happy he won.
Absolutely.
Not real happy with the way everything's going. That's fine, but I'm really glad he won, because it would have been very dark times otherwise.
Because the the most important freedom we have is the First Amendment: freedom of speech, religion, assembly.
The second's pretty important.
Well, it protects
that's
the first.
So now the next clip, I love this. I love because I hate this clip. This is horrifying.
This
is horrifying. This is a Mark Rowley, actually, Sir
Mark Rowley to you.
He's the commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, which polices the Greater London area, with the exception of the City of London. That's a
separate topic.
That's a whole separate thing. Google that. Yeah. So now this is an interview he gave with Sky News on August the 5th of 2024, and listen to him. He's basically saying that the UK police will go after foreigners.
Yep.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals.
Let's remember.
They will come after individuals in foreign countries, and these are terrorist charges.
That's right. And anything that you say, for example, Lucy Connolly is kind of a famous case. Her husband was a politician. She wrote expressed outrage on social media after yet another Muslim illegal immigrant took his machete to some little girls at a Taylor Swift dance studio and killed by violent, horrific means little girls. He shouldn't even have been there. And she says I don't know what she said, something about burning the prison, burning their hotels down, because of course they're housed in luxury hotels. And she was arrested, and she got 31 months in prison in the former land of the free, England.
And get this. Okay, so I think she did 40% of her time and is now out. There was a case of another guy. I don't have my notes in front of me, and I don't remember his name. But he, on principle, he was basically, his way of protesting her imprisonment was to retweet it. Say, you know what? I'm just going to do this on principle. Like, they're not going to imprison me for just sharing it. They did. They came after him. He had a friend tell him, don't do it. He says, you're crazy. I'll be fine. He wasn't fine.
No.
They got him for just retweeting. And a lot of these, there's hardly any views.
That's right. There'll be like 5 views.
Right. Doesn't matter. You put it out there.
I mean, actually, what they do is they call attention to it, but they mean to. They mean, as our guest Claire Trinchard from England said, they mean to enforce. They don't want you to dissent. That's it.
Oh, no, the whole point is the chilling effect.
Yes. So
absolutely. Shut this down.
Shut this down. You will live with these people whether you like it or not. You will support them at the expense of the hardworking English citizens. And too bad if you don't like it. And furthermore, you can't talk about your Christian prayers, but they're going to have 5 times a day microphones with police protection for their calls to prayer, which we will get into after the break.
We're going to go there.
Don't we have that?
I've got a good clip on that, but it's actually from the U.S.
Oh, okay. So it's from, well, they have it anyway. It's all over England, too.
Well, it's all over the U.S., too.
Yeah,
well,
I mean.
Not all over, but in some areas of the U.S.
I do like that in Canada, some Catholic church played their bells really, really loud.
Oh, you know what I saw?
You saw that?
No, I didn't see that one. I saw bagpipes.
That's awesome.
When it was time for the call to prayer, bagpipes.
That's great.
Drowned them out. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Just get out there and sing Ave
First
Maria.
time
real loud.
First time I've ever heard bagpipes and didn't think like, ugh.
I know, they're
That's pretty awesome.
Welcome back to Baldy and the Blonde. This is Michelle Godian along with Tom Kowitz. And I just want to make a little announcement here that somehow our shows are always either on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day.
I know, what the heck?
I don't have to talk to the station about that. We need a discount or something. I mean, come on. Anyway, so next Wednesday will be Christmas Eve, and the Wednesday after that will be New Year's Eve. And are we going to be here, Tom?
No, they're actually
station is closed.
They're locking us out.
Yeah,
we couldn't come in if we wanted to.
So we will be repeating 2 shows probably regarding the crazy Google search research we've done, which I just want to take one moment here and say that today Tom Googled the name of Micah Lenyon, who is from New Iberia and was mixed up with that group out of Los Angeles planning to set off some bombs on New Year's Eve. And Tom Googled...
Well, I didn't Google it. I went to see
Google Trends, sorry.
if somebody else had Googled it.
Tell them what you found.
Somebody indeed had. I don't have the... Oh, actually, I got it.
Yeah, I posted it on Facebook, but in the Baldy and the Blonde radio group.
I got printouts buried. I didn't know you were going to bring it up right now, but that's okay.
Sorry.
So it was his name, his full name with the middle name.
Michael Lennon.
And middle name James. I put it all in there.
All in there.
In conjunction with Shamsuddin Jabbar, who was the New Orleans Bourbon Street terrorist.
Yep.
And I put those 2 names together in quotes to see if anybody had Googled that phrase, the names together. And I searched Egypt, Afghanistan, Iran, Israel, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, and United States. And somebody from every one of those places except the UK Googled that phrase.
Googled that exact phrase.
Apparently,
those 2 names together.
If Google is accurate.
Yes. And so, listen.
And that was Googled in July of 2024.
Yes. And a lot of them were from Iran. So, very strange.
Yes.
Yeah, most of them.
Big number from Iran.
And we're saving all the screenshots. But anyway, I just want to say that once again, we think it's really weird, the stuff we've come up with, okay? And
so to circle back, the next 2 shows will be the shows where we address those Google searches.
Yes, correct.
We did that 2 weeks ago and then last week.
Yeah.
And so then we'll just repeat that.
Yeah, and this is a thing that started with Charlie Kirk. We didn't necessarily think of it, but then we started applying it to other things, and it's crazy. So anyway, back to our topic of the day, which is the assault on free speech in England, which is appalling. And I really think Americans who have expressed any sort of here they call it conservative, I call it liberty-oriented post on Facebook.
You're running the risk going there.
I think you're running the risk. Look at what happened to the comedian Graham Linehan.
Yeah.
Arrested. So
for a post he made
in Arizona.
Yeah.
So
and he's not a British citizen.
Not English. He's Irish.
And they have openly said, their cops and top prosecutors, the London's top cop and the country's top prosecutor, have said that they will extradite.
And you know what? England needs to pay the price for that. By that I mean tourists can't. You are not safe. Do not go there.
No, I agree. Now, there's one last thing I wanted to read. I don't have a clip for it. I just have an article, and I'm going to read just a few sentences from it.
Okay.
The headline says, "Man jailed after fake claim on TikTok video that he was running for his life from rioters." So he wasn't running from his life for rioters. He was streaming live on TikTok. This was in Derby. I don't know where Derby is in England. Where it is from London. I have no idea.
By a racetrack.
So there was an in some parts of London. This was in August 7th, 2024. There were some protests regarding immigration and immigrants.
Yeah.
Going on in that country. So he goes on TikTok and says, "I'm being chased by right-wing rioters." He wasn't. He later said it was a joke. But the reason I wanted to read this is because it gives us an indication how this mechanism works. What do the cops actually do? How do they get these people?
Right.
So this article will tell you. It says the 25-year-old whose stream had come to the attention of officers monitoring social media from the area began running along Normanton Road at around 10 p.m., shouting that he was being chased by extreme right-wing rioters and that he was in fear for his life. Officers in the area were directed to speak to him, to Stoika, who confirmed that he was not being chased and that he was not afraid for his safety. So they had officers in the area that saw his post, and they thought, well, let's go check and see, is that really happening?
Yeah.
And they went to him. He goes, well, no, I was really just kind of joking. And he gets arrested.
That's just...
And I got to thinking, look at War of the Worlds back when Orson Welles pulled that. And now today they would be judge, jury, and executioner. They'd shoot him before the end of the broadcast.
He'd be hung at high noon. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy. And that's, that's where they're devoting their resources. And they need to pay a price in tourism.
You can't, absolutely.
Really
can't do parody. And some people would call it fake news. He wasn't doing fake news. I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm sure it's been taken down. I did look for it.
Yeah.
But because now I'm sure YouTube is afraid to have it on its...
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I went on AI today and asked, in addition to some of the specifics I've given on the show today, I asked, give me specific posts online that other individuals were...
Oh, to use as examples today.
Yes. And this is what AI said back to me. This is in the post suite, okay? I can give general descriptions of publicly reported cases, but I cannot quote or reproduce hate speech posts because that would require generating harmful content directly. In other words, AI bots are afraid of getting arrested. AI won't do it. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, that shows you how this chilling effect spreads. And that's always the problem, is that they intend for you to be afraid to speak, because they take a few people, make big examples out of them, and they intend for you to be afraid.
Well, and
so that you won't speak and you won't fight back, even though 3 million Brits marched in the streets. 3 million, not covered in the U.S. at all, a couple of months ago over the illegal Muslims.
So they do want them scared, and us scared. That's true. But
that's
what's
true.
The ultimate goal? What if
Control.
you're looking at Orwell? They want you to love Big Brother.
Big Brother.
It starts with chilling speech.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And when you've chilled speech, and everybody's afraid to speak their mind, now after a while, maybe it takes a generation.
That's right.
You can hardly think for yourself, and you just love whatever your government has to tell you, because that's the only message there is, and they just tell you it's one big kumbaya.
Yeah.
There's, this culture, even though it hasn't assimilated, and even though they're washing their feet in the boys' bathroom, sink,
and their toilets have to point away from Mecca, as Claire pointed out.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that culture. I'm saying it's different, and it's not the English, it's not the British culture, but they want you to love Big Brother. They want you to love your tyranny. And you can't get people to love their tyranny if they're complaining about it. So first, you stop the complaints.
Stop the complaints. And remember Brave New World, people can be made to love their slavery.
Sure.
It's Aldous Huxley, and I think probably the most on-point book at the moment